So people don't know how to pronounce dbDIPview. It is a database deep viewer, and we have been using it for more than a decade. And I will show a typical example where it could be used. So it is not maybe in the scenario like we heard today of, but maybe exactly these scenarios may be interesting for you. So we have some application, and application is using a database. So this is a simplistic view. We have some data. We see the image from LOP or from a file. We can download files, and we can see the entities, more details about the entities. And now this is production, a simplistic view of some production system, which is at the end of the life cycle. They want to shut down everything. They want to get rid of it because they will not use it anymore, and they will transfer the content to the archives. What are our options now? Archive now and unlock in the future. So this is a catchphrase which is wrong, because we don't want to save any problem for the future. We want to solve all the problems now. So the first option is to keep the database, to keep the original application, but virtualization and emulation is not something that we want to see in the archives. In most cases, it is too complicated. Okay, we heard about E-ARK a lot. I will store the database in the long-term format. But if we see on the left, we have some application with some data displayed, and with a pure database, something is missing. The application is missing, so it is not very good to use for the end user. OAIS standard suggests a representation information to be added to our package, and this is the approach we want to follow. So we will get the database data, and we will add some representation information which will help us to use this data in the future with dbDIPview or whatever you want. So this is then what dbDIPview will show. If we have representation information prepared, configured, then we get a nice search form for the end user who can immediately use the database in a similar way like in the original production system. Here we got some results. We got the list of students. We select one line, we drill down, and we get more information. So the data is in Slovenian because it is Slovenian database, but the tool can be localized. There are many stakeholders in this process, so let's look at their requirements. First, we have the data creator. What do they want? Straightforward preparation of SIP. So it's the end of their life cycle, just come and take it. So they're happy if we tell them there is a E-ARK tool. They export, and they wouldn't like to do any modifications like normalization to the database. Maybe they exclude some of the tables if they are not of archival use. And finally, they will shut down the system, most probably, because they don't need it anymore. That's why they will give it. They will give the data to the archives. They want to have some confidence that their data will be still available in the future in the archive. So during the ingest, we must persuade them that they can get everything back if they need it. Then we have our archivist. Most probably this is not an IT person. There is more focus on appraisal and access, and care about the content. So the archivist will verify the ingest by comparing the original application or original documents with the archival presentation, so that we are sure that the information that was available in the original system is not is also available in the archival system. And how? Well, we should know which are typical queries that we want to cover. There were some queries in the original system that were used by their users, and we want to implement the same queries in our system, but not all of them, only those for which we believe it will be used by our visitor. Another involved person is a database archivist. So we need someone here who understands the databases. This person will want to be able to accept multiple packages. So one database can be exported as more CRT files. We could get CSV files and no CRT, or we could get a CRT with empty database and CSV as load of this database, and we can get also LOB files package with attachments. So we need some tool to create a representation information package that will be added to the AIP, and what will also be part of this package? SQL reports. We will need to enhance them. The first version most probably will be created automatically. We might add views because this will make searches in the database easier in some cases. Or we may take care about data enrichment. Typical example is we can have a dictionary in the original database which is missing because it is coded in the program of the original application. Like we have 0, 1, 2, and the meaning is in the code. So here we can simply add a table which will be used for our searches. Here we need only basic familiarity with SQL and XML, not some proficient SQL knowledge. And the last requirement, most important, the level of automation is preferred because we don't make every ingest a project of creating a new application. We just want to make these few steps of configuring the representation information package. So this is our AIP, which will be stored for each database. And now we are in the reading room waiting for the visitors. In the reading room, our archivists, again, will not be an IT person. What will they expect? Efficient workflow and seamless access for their customers, users. This means easy deployment of the database or activation of persistent DIP if the database is already up and running. It should be possible to handle multiple databases at once, and sometimes we need to switch on redaction if there are some personal data involved, for example. When the end user is granted access, we don't want to sit there to help them to assist, so the system should be easy for end user to work alone. Or if the archivist needs to provide some information, then we will not have problems to find this information. The visitor, of course, not an IT person, most probably expects intuitive use without documentation. So if the visitor wants to study documentation, it can be ordered, it can be checked. But if I want a certain piece of information, I will go directly to the tool. And the tool will help me with some interpretation hints on all the screens. And the results, of course, can be exported. So the solution for this is dbDIPview with three main functionalities. The first one is creation and storing this representation information package. On the right, this is the first one. And the last one is a single CRT file. And in the middle, we have a configuration file which lists all the packages which are involved. So we could have many CRT files. We could have more packages with CSV files or with attachments. And this order file has all this information. And because of this, the installation is done with a single command, which is in the next line. So it can be done manually, or if you have a reading room application, this application could prepare the files from the storage and simply remotely execute this command. And at this moment, the database is ready for use. So this system is in use by two national archives of Slovenia and Czech Republic. So the approach is following the OIS guidelines, and we see we added the presentation information package, and we use the package builder to make it, and this is the base then for installation and for use. The approach is following the KISS, keep it simple, stupid. So it should be robust, it should be maintainable, understandable, and that's why there are no third-party fancy modules, dependencies, but of course we need dbPTK or we need or CR suite to install a single CR file. It runs on Ubuntu with PHP, Apache, Postgres, so this should be a long-term sustainable environment. So let's see the quick example how it is used in real life. So the end user will find in the catalog our register. And now I can order documentation or I can order database access. And there will be then some ordering process in the reading room, which we will skip here, and the end user is granted access to the database. So we see the national look and feel, but this can be adapted to each profile, in each archive. We could also get a drop-down list of available databases, or we can have this more technical link. A single database can be installed in more instances, maybe one instance as a redacted one and another one not redacted. After this, the user will get the menu with reports. I said that we will choose those reports which are expected to be used, so there will be really no need to make SQL queries in the future. And there could be many reports, like in this real-life example. I choose one report. I get this search forum, which is pre-configured, and on the right we see some help for the end user, some explanation, and then I get the result. And for the end, this is a list of more different results. They can be in list view, multi-column view, table view. I can download images. I can show images as blobs or from attachments, and you can drill down to get further details. Oh, thank you.